We spend so much time thinking about what's in our food, but in addition to the hidden ingredients, we also need to consider what could be entering our diet from the packaging itself. So let's talk about that. What is BPA and why is it a problem?
So we see the rise of microplastics in our foods and through the food entering our systems, our bloodstream. BPA is bisphenol A, which is derived from plastics. It's found in plastic containers, it's in the lining of cans and plastic wraps and the teacups that we typically get from, let's say, Starbucks or
Okay.
Tim Hortons. So, like, you will see that, if you can touch it, it's very shiny, it's plastic, right? There's a
Mhm.
microplastic there. Um, we're not really aware of this when we drink the coffee or
Right.
the tea and when we heat up our stuff in the microwave using a plastic container,
Right.
especially with black plastics. Those
Mm.
are so easily,
Black plastics.
like, black containers of
Mm.
plastic. Those are quite dangerous and they're
Okay.
not really recycled. If you've noticed, like when
Mm.
we purchase things in black plastic containers, we can't recycle them. So that begs the question
Okay.
for me, how long does it take for plastic to break down?
Right.
And why do we need plastic containers to pack food?
Right.
Now, the question is we're protecting items from contamination, right?
Hmm.
They're used to protect the food from other contaminants or pathogens.
Hmm.
On the other hand, we're risking getting a lot of endocrine disruptors. The plastics are endocrine disruptors and
Okay.
really do sabotage our hormonal profile in the body. So women and men both get a lot of endocrine disruption through these plastics. And
So when you reuse those plastics at home, like heating them up, microwaving and stuff like
it's
that, and they
just
start to
really,
slowly
yeah,
break
we're
down a
getting
little bit.
exposure, right? We can also see it in tap water. You could also,
Okay.
if you use I don't know if for anyone using a shower filter,
Mm.
you could also get plastic contaminants and microplastics through your shower filter. I mean, we
Huh.
through the water system. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Tap water has quite a bit of it. Plastic bottles have it, and
It's like, where do we get it? Where do we not get it?
that's where we need to really be mindful. Like, do we need a lot of plastic
Mm.
containers to actually pack food or water, or can we use stainless steel and glass that we're going to get into more later?
Hmm.
But for now, my issue is that these plastics act as xenoestrogens,
Mm.
and they could risk people getting cancer, like
Right.
breast cancer for women. And they do enter the embryo. There's a lot of like research now that shows where they're, entering our bloodstream and going into places in the cells and disrupting our
Yeah.
just natural flow of what our hormones need to do, right? Because they are
Mm.
xenoestrogens.
Hmm.
And with that means that we're getting more of an estrogen
Right.
dominance, right? And
Hmm.
the symptoms of estrogen dominance masked by plastics then create a lot of issues for women that
Hmm.
can lead to endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, a
Yeah.
lot of
And
other
you hear a lot about
hormonal stuff.
that,
Yeah.
you know. So what about BPS and BPF? What's the difference with those?
So those are, well, they're the same. Again, I'm not a toxicologist and I'm not a microbiologist, right? I don't exactly know how they're derived. I know that they are byproducts
Are
and
they just as
chemical.
bad, do you
They're
think?
just as bad. They are
Okay.
still carcinogenic. They
Okay.
do have a lot of um, just really hazardous
Mm.
inflammatory. They create a lot of these hazardous inflammatory symptoms in the body, and both men and women are getting high exposures to these chemicals just through the containers, through the cups that they're drinking from, through all sorts of pathways, like the tap water that we have. Like,
Yeah.
if you use again, going back to the shower filter, if
Hmm.
you use that to really have cleaner water, when you open it up, you can see microplastics like visibly.
That's
Some are
sad.
micro, like you can see it under a microscope,
Ah.
but you can also see particles like
Wow.
2-3 millimeter
And
little
that's
particles of
ridiculous.
plastic. And I do this every 6 months because I have a shower filter, and I just open it up and I'm shocked.
Yeah,
Just
it's
because we don't see
ridiculous.
it doesn't mean that it's not there. Just because it's just a container and it looks innocent doesn't mean that it is. These are hazardous chemicals. we really need to be mindful of them. They are found in the kitchen quite a bit, in how, let's say we go out and buy red meat or foods from containers. That container has a lot of uh, gives us a lot of exposure to those plastics again because it's plastic.
Stay with us.